Hello, welcome to today's EverQuest stream, or EverQuest 2 stream. I'm Schueller. Some of you guys know me as Roshen, and I'm joined by a bunch of the EQ2 devs.
I'm Robert Fouts, systems developer, also known as Caith on the forums.
And let's kick it over here to the couch. Let me make sure you guys aren't muted.
Mute. I'm Nathan McCall, known as Kaitheel, and doing quests and live events.
And I'm Vallee, Kander on the forums, lead designer.
All right, do we want to chat about anything
Your
before
friend.
we pop into game here, or?
I think we can go ahead and just get right into game. Show them some of what we've got upcoming for our.
That's what they're here for, right?
You're saying you're super loud, Roshen.
Well, I can turn me down.
I think they plotted this ahead of time.
It's like, my screen cracked.
All right, so I think the term is been coined as campansion, correct?
Campansion.
Yeah, all right, campansion.
Campansion 12.
Some of our upcoming changes with TOV, we introduced a lot of changeable items and exchanging one item for another, and we didn't really care for how that actually played out so well. So what we wanted to do was kind of expand on it, but make it better and awesome rather than kind of clunky. So what we've been working on is how to upgrade existing items, adding stats to items you already have without actually fully exchanging an item, but just going ahead and taking the item you have and making it better. So what we've been working on here is, well, this is Things. He makes things better.
That's his actual name?
His name is Things. So what we got here, let me actually go back for that. Just like any other merchant or NPC where you can reforge, you can sell, you can buy, things will be, and a merchant, probably like a reforger, will probably place them in a lot of the same places, but you'll be upgrading your items. You're probably familiar with this screen from reforging, but we'll go ahead and take you right on to the next one. So we're going to be upgrading the flavor here. It's just a test item, but let's get some examine here. You'll notice it has pretty low stats, but everything's very simple, very basic. We know we have one of everything. So we want to upgrade this. We just got to go to Things. We're going to see our price, 2 plat. We're going to upgrade Things, and Things roll a whole lot of upgrades. So you'll notice on this, Things has given us a whole bunch of extra stats. I'll update there. So we've actually upgraded a whole lot of stats on our item. Let me actually expand this here.
So you were talking about rolling different stats. So this is something that's set per item or random?
This is it's completely random, but it's going to be upgrading the stats that are currently on the item. So you have, say, your 1,000 stamina. Well, actually, it is still 1,000 stamina. So a couple bugs to look it out, but we had just 1 crit bonus, 1 potency. Things has upgraded us with this item to now have an extra 4.7 crit bonus, an extra 7.2 potency on this item. And say that's not quite good enough because we've still got some room to go here. So you're seeing here our current bonuses, our max possible bonuses, and our chance to upgrade. Well, our potency and our crit bonus and our ability mod definitely have some room. So let's go ahead for a little bit more of a price there. Let's go ahead and upgrade that again. Well, ability mod, it went up some. You'll see a whole bunch of the red spam down here. That's going to change a little bit, but it's telling us exactly what's been going on. You failed to apply an upgrade because it actually didn't give you one that was good enough to actually replace the current upgrade. A little bit more money. We'll see what we can do. You can see your stamina go away because it's been fully upgraded now.
It's been maxed.
Your crit bonus has jumped a little bit. And those chances are getting a little lower. Oh, I do not have enough coin to upgrade the flavor.
So to answer some questions in chat, yeah, it's going to cost plat, but it's also going to cost resources that will come from somewhere. I'm not going to tell you where yet. And yeah, you will be able to, with weapons, change the delay of your weapons and the damage types on the weapons. So the idea is when you get a weapon, you'll be able to alter stats. You'll be able to change the delay. You'll be able to change the damage type, all on the same weapon, as opposed to, when you get a new weapon, it switches it out. So the idea is we'll be able to make a lot less weapons, and they'll be a lot more customizable. The delays obviously will be set. You won't be able to set it to willy-nilly to any delay you want, but it'll have a range of common delays that you can switch it to, and obviously the damage types. So yeah, the idea is to get it to where when a weapon drops, you're not like, oh crap, I can't use that. It's more customizable, and you'll be able to use almost any weapon that you see or close to. There will still be obviously some special like brawler offhand weapons and some special weapons for people, but our goal is to get it so that the majority of weapons that you see you'll be able to customize.
So people are talking about changing the delay to something different and then back to what it was before.
Yeah, so you could change a 4-second to a 6-second delay, exactly.
But then could you do it back to 4?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and as that touches on a little bit. Some of our old stuff, you changed it once, it was changed forever. Now it's going to be, you can continue to change the stuff until when it's got a stat increase until you're capped, or you can continue to change it back and forth as much as you want.
Yeah. So the idea going forward with this also is maybe you're out adventuring and maybe you're poking things with your stabby sword of stabbiness, and you get a rare bauble that drops, and the bauble you can use to upgrade your stats on your weapon. So it's giving us a lot more customization and a lot more way to itemize with a lot less items, so which is good for us.
And speaking about baubles, we have a couple of those right here. These are actually all the same. So we're going to actually go ahead and show you a little bit more about this. So we've got the bauble with the same thing. Adding in, it doesn't add quite as many stats as the other, but you'll be able to find these baubles, and they're doing basically the same thing as the merchant's doing. The UI is fully changeable. We'd actually like feedback on what people would like to see in the UI and how you'd like to see it. So don't be shy about sending any of that feedback. Let me actually go ahead and I'm going to actually spawn a new one of these items here.
As he does that, so they're talking about can all items be upgraded, and someone mentions epics.
No, it's going to be items in the current campaign and maybe some from the previous, but it's not going to be all items.
Will there be an easy way to tell which items are upgradable?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So, again, you're seeing, since this is only upgrading those 2 items, you're only seeing it do those few upgrades there. Now, some of this is, for the most part, it will upgrade stats that are actually on the items. Every once in a while, you may see something that will actually add a new stat to your weapons. So you're going to take something that has, crit damage, potency, ability mod, and damage per second. You might be able to add something like flurry to it. Those are going to be rare. They're pretty awesome. So obviously, we're going to want to make sure that that they stay awesome by being little special. And so that touches on most of the item upgrading here.
Yeah.
The amplifying is we were calling
it. it'll
that's a
be
good name.
it'll be limited stats. It's not going to be all stats. We haven't decided what stats yet. We're still in the development phase for this whole thing, but chances are you'll be able to get cool new awesome items and then upgrade them and customize them. It's a little different than reforging. Reforging is very set in stone what you can do. We haven't decided yet what you're going to be able to do with amplifying. Is that what we're calling it?
That's what we're calling it right now.
Until we have a better
tomorrow,
name.
we'll find out.
It's called amplifying. And so look forward to a lot of cool stuff with that.
And just because you mentioned reforging, we want to make sure that you're aware that this will exist exactly alongside reforging and experimentation. Shouldn't impact each other at all.
Right.
You'll be able to reforge all of the base stats on the item completely separately from how you upgrade the item.
And reforging still does the particle effect changes and the other, the appearance stuff, whereas this is just stats.
Yeah, and there's no changes to any of the reforging effects there.
Yeah.
though we may have some changes to enhance the reforging.
Yeah.
More on that when we talk about it more.
Okay, some people are talking about when they'll see this in game. So this is part of the campaign?
This is with the Campansion 12. We'll be talking about it a lot, though. We'll give you a lot more information on it. We're really trying hard to have a longer beta this year, and we really want people to get in and play with this stuff. So, yeah, there's a lot more to come.
Okay, do we want to move on to our next subject there? Show what's coming up in the next day or two?
What's the next subject?
Our summer drops.
Oh, yeah, so summer ethereals, woo, which are supposed to be starting to drop sometime really soon.
TM.
Robert's going to spawn a couple of those and show off what the new ethereals are going to look like. Everybody hold on to your hats.
Or your butts.
Or that. So our new ethereals, you're noticing this one up on the screen. It's something we haven't done for a while. It's a weapon, and it's got an effect. So we've got actually quite a few of them, but the effects we're looking for these. These are going to be good. If you can see, I mean, as the stats on there are great. The effect, and this is only one of them. We're going to probably spawn maybe one or two more. But the other effects are all on the same level, and we're hoping they're as exciting as for you guys as we think they are. I think some of these are pretty awesome.
Yeah. So this is also we'll call it a preview to upcoming things, because we're going to be moving all procs to weapons. Not all procs, but most procs. Probably your favorite procs are going to be going to weapons. And we're going to be taking procs off of jewelry and pretty much everywhere else. Charms will stay the same. They'll still be the clicky awesomeness that they are now. But in an effort to make things make more sense, reduce lag, reduce all that fun stuff, we're going to be moving procs to weapons. So all weapons. So you'll have three total procs that you're able to wield, and then jewelry will be more passive effects. So, and to answer any questions before they get asked, the idea is to make this whole change, and you will not obviously be nerfed. Our goal is to have you be as powerful, maybe more powerful than you were when you began. So.
Okay, so we've got a couple extra of the ethereals here, and we're not going to show you all of them. So these are all we're going to show you, but there's several of them in game when we put these in, when we activate the event. So we're going to have them archetype specific. So you've got fighter stuff, you've got scout stuff, you've got priest stuff. So each archetype is going to have its own specific ethereal. It's going to be tradable, and they're only going to be dropping in the Altar of Malice heroic zones, off of the end bosses. So you're going to want to go in there and beat them up and take all their stuff.
Yeah, which includes the Realm Seller, right?
Yes.
Forebodes, the deal with two-handers will probably be that we'll modify procs on two-handers so that they are appropriately powerful for two-handed weapons. I don't know that we'll be putting 2 procs on two-handed weapons.
Yeah, it depends on the situation for that. That's, I think, we pretty much on all we have for the
He wants to know if brawlers are forgotten again.
Well,
what are they?
I'm sorry, I didn't examine this one.
Did we not show you the brawler weapon? Oh, sorry.
Well, you notice that first off, that's
Priest.
all fighters. I think a brawler does count as a fighter.
Brawler is a
I'm
fighter.
pretty positive, actually.
Yeah.
But we do have brawler specific in there as well. No, we did not forget brawlers. So everybody has their ethereals in there.
Yeah. Also, we're going to be dropping 3 waves of ethereals, so we've covered just about everybody. I think we have, how many do we have dropping to start? 5?
We have 4 to drop.
Four that'll be starting to drop from the start.
And it's not all of these.
That's yeah.
These are
these are random from different waves. So the first wave will be, for 30 some days, and then the next wave we'll start a new wave. We'll announce it we'll give you plenty of notice when the wave is going to end and the next wave is going to start.
Nice.
Anything else? All right. Well, we got that's all for the ethereals. Do we have questions or?
I mean, I think we're just kind of going through questions as we get them. We've got the chat. I don't think
to.
there's anything we missed for ethereals, but yeah, you guys have the chat over there too.
Excuse me.
Implement more procs. What are you talking about?
No.
We just said we're making less procs.
But the chat's on a little delay,
Yeah,
so maybe.
so there will be fewer procs, but the procs will be appropriately powerful.
Yes.
So again, like Kyle mentioned earlier, if you have a two-hander, the two-hander should be stronger proc-wise. Instead of having multiple procs, it will just be one stronger proc.
Similar to how the white adornments were
or
changed.
maybe you're
or something.
talking about right now, because yes, right now there will be a few more procs to the people who get ethereal weapons. So
Yeah,
the
I mean,
ethereals will drop in Altar of Malice heroic zones, including Rum Cellar.
someone wants
But
to see a
that's-
progression server for EQ2.
Oh. How do you feel about that?
I like the idea. It just seems like I don't know. Do a lot of people want to see something like that?
I mean, people have talked about it. In our previous chat, we had mentioned that doing something like that would be an awful lot of work for EQ2.
Could be, if depending upon how it is that it's set up. Absolutely. And what we define as being progression. It
Correct.
absolutely would be a tremendous amount of work.
Yeah, everybody
in
does
some
have
cases,
their own definition.
In some cases.
But we've seen people talk about wanting different types of servers, something special like what EQ's been doing for progression server. And it's definitely something we've been talking about.
Absolutely.
But no specific information to share about that during the stream.
No, but it's been getting more and more exciting lately, especially
Yeah.
watching Ragefire, and just being a part of that has totally stoked some fires over here.
Well, for sure. I mean, people, like something.
How could it not, right?
Something special and unique that bring people to EverQuest or EverQuest 2 that weren't normally players or didn't have an advantage to kind of come into the game at the beginning and have that same new player experience when everybody was having it at the same time.
And by that, you mean like when everybody was there, when you saw just this crowd of people that were all doing the same quests together and grouping up and just, yeah, absolutely. That energy.
But
amazing.
and forming those friendships that you make with people at the beginning that are having that
Yep.
same experience with you.
Yes.
We're coming
Yes.
into something like Ultra Malice or
Community.
Rum Cellar. There's some amount of barrier to entry because you have to have a character that's geared appropriately to do that
Yes.
content.
Yes. And level appropriate and absolutely.
So the proc changes that we're talking about with the Campanchen will be probably back to Chains of Eternity. We won't be messing with stuff previous to that. And our goal is to not end up nerfing you. You know, a
Nobody
lot
likes
of
that.
that stuff will end up as passive effects on jewelry and stuff like that. So we're hoping you won't have that problem. That's our goal.
For
Because we don't want that.
Gearfon's comment on here about the last podcast where we had mentioned things. Some of the old code from the original part of the game doesn't exist anymore. So the thing about like
Yes.
what can we do and can we create an experience that's exactly identical to what EverQuest 2 was on day one?
No.
That code doesn't exist as we've gone through and add patches.
And I
the
can't
game
play
has
for 13 hours, so that was my day one experience. So
So for what they said in the previous podcast, just so everyone's aware, to create the exact identical day one experience for EQ2, that code just doesn't exist. And even if they were to spend time to build that game, it still wouldn't be identical because we're building it with different people and different tools.
Yep.
someone asked whether or not the event heroics are going to be included for the ethereal drops. I'd have to check on that to make absolutely sure, but I believe yes.
Nice.
All right, so anything else here with ethereals? Or
I think
there
that's it for the ethereals.
might be some zones you guys...
Do we want to show the Fabled zones? I mean, people have been in them, so.
Well, so far we haven't told people that Fabled are for sure a thing.
Oh.
Oh, hey! So this is a stream where we can tell people, hey, Fabled's a thing, and what
so-
zones that...
Wait, Fables are a
Well,
thing.
I just know I've been
okay,
doing
so-
work on them.
So, hey, hello, stream. We have some new Fabled Dungeons, and by new Fabled Dungeons, Fables that weren't available before, of dungeons that you guys are familiar with. But for people who aren't familiar with Fabled, why don't you guys chat a little bit about what that's about?
Yeah, so we're with the Fabled Dungeons. The way we've been doing it is each year we've been going back to a previous expansion and making Fabled versions of that. So this year is going to be Echoes of Fedor, and the dungeons that we're doing are the Catechism, Court of Innovation, Crypt of Valdoon, and the there'll be actually 2 raids. They're actually the same raid, but the Freethinkers Hideout and Freethinkers Hideout Challenge versions, and those will have some new stuff in them, and also those will have some other preview items that could be possibly coming up with the Campansion as far as stat layouts and new itemization.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the actual zone
brain
names
explosion.
to zone into them, so we won't be able to get into you, show you around on those. But they are just like our Fabled Dungeons previously. They
Yeah.
are exact copies of our original nostalgic launches, but brought up and made challenging and made fun with all new loot drops. Loot drops that are a lot of it's going to be kind of a prelude drops for those as well. So you'll see loot in there that's alluding to what we're going to be doing in the convention as well.
Yeah, and Chris has been adding in achievements, and you've been doing some new collections for it. So,
Yeah. So and,
Yeah.
and also all the Fabled content is free. I saw that question. Holly beat me to it. But they will have achievements and titles and a whole bunch of new collections. And new loot, and some loot that's going to be a preview of our new philosophy for what we're going to be doing with Campansion 12. So, different stat layouts.
Nice.
And for people who can't, in case you're watching this on replay and you're not seeing the chat, we have Windstalker over here in chat that said June 23. Does that sound like a date for Fabled for you guys?
Yeah, June 23rd, and the whole update is free content.
It's not that many weeks from now.
The collections will have a really killer inline item, just like we've been doing for the past several. And there's going to be some cool stuff.
Just to touch on the loot a little bit, we alluded to it. Some of the things we're changing for the convention is not quite so many of everything.
Yeah.
So we had 9 sets of armor for each tier in TOV and AOM. We're going to move away from that a little bit, and we're consolidating. So you won't lose access to the stats that are on those other sets of armor, but we're consolidating them onto less sets. So in the convention, we're looking at 4 sets of armor total, and more things that you just go out and you get them by killing the mobs and taking all of their stuff. Not as much kill the mobs, get your dollar from the mission, and a lot more excitement with just going out there and playing the game and getting your rewards, rather than having to go back again and again and again every day for your dollar for your buy.
Yeah, so that's another thing where we were supposed to talk about some philosophy changes. So we're gonna get away from token grind coming up with the Campansion this year. We're going to move more to actual drops and knowing where drops drop. Our philosophy is going back to the flowing black silk sash drops off of the frenzied ghoul, that kind of thing. We'll probably will do some tokens, but only mostly for expendables and adornments and stuff like that. But the focus will not be grinding tokens for your gear anymore. We're gonna have less armor sets and less tiers, and that stuff is going to be drops. So expect to get your gear in the dungeons.
So I kicked over to the 2-camera setup. So if you want to find stuff over here that we can put in the background, something like a Fabled Dungeon would be awesome. But otherwise, we can just kind of chat it up with people, because standing at your Eric and rear over here is maybe not the best television we've ever had.
Who doesn't want to look at my awesome purple mohawk?
And if you can't find anywhere else to go, you could zone to Frostfang Sea, which is just Hallis, yeah. And you can go to Sister Leela for what I was going to mention.
Oh, well, that sounds like a place we should go then.
Oh, okay. Way to just steer the conversation, Nathan. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So, something else that's coming up? You just heard that June 23rd is the Fabled, our Fabled Dungeons are coming up, and then just after that, in the beginning of July, July 7th, if the date still stands, that's tentative. But July 7th, we were looking at bringing in Erelisimar as a worshipable deity. So if you can go over to her altar that's there to your right, you can barely see it there. Yeah, there you go.
So I want you to chat a little bit about Errol Mar for people who maybe aren't.
She is the goddess of the hunt and love. So if you're a ranger, you're a scout, I think you're going to find some really good miracles and blessings by worshiping her. You do have to be good aligned in order to worship her. You can also just be a romantic and totally appreciate what she has to offer.
So
but
your
this is
Erican maybe not so good aligned?
Oh no, they're neutral.
My Erican is actually, he is good aligned.
Okay.
He's bounced back and forth a couple times. A little mercenary.
So, and if you want to help us test out that content, it is active right now on the test server. You just have to be level 20 and above and good aligned, and then come over here and speak with Sister Leela.
So currently on test server, players can see this right now.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. And please give us some feedback. Find any bugs. I know quite a few people have run through it already and not found anything, but that does not mean that it is foolproof. That means that they were tenacious.
And best place to get you bugs is forums, is other kinds of bug report, or
on
some
the
other way?
on the forums, I do have a full thread that's already been started in the test section. So please, you can post it there, or you can use the / command. Either way, I see it both.
And
Yay.
just because we spoke a little bit about the deity system, we probably want to touch on a little bit of what's coming with the companion for that as well, Kander.
What?
Surprise!
The changes with the deities that come in with the companion.
Oh yeah. So, we already promised this. I believe it. SOE live last year.
Good
Get
catch.
the terminology correct. That we were revamping the deity system, and it's actually going beyond a revamp. It's going to be a system that's contained on your character, and you'll be able to earn points to spend in it by gaining tithe, and we'll talk more about all that stuff later. But yeah, the deity stuff is coming with the campanchen.
And that won't null and void any of these quests if you've done them
Yeah.
before.
The idea
or
is
the miracles and blessings that you've gotten
right.
received.
The idea is to leave the previous deity system functioning, so you can still use it the way it is if you're, you're not playing at the level high enough to use the new deity system. But and all the quests and all that stuff should remain completely intact and functional and doable.
And altars. There's still going to be a reason for your altar.
And we're working on some really cool stuff for altars, for reasons to actually have them. There will be a good reason to have altars and to upgrade your altars.
Yes, there will still be falling anvils.
What?
Someone asked if there will still be falling anvil miracles. Of course, we're going to have falling anvil miracles. Well, who do you think we are?
Take all the fun out of this. No. And all of the miracle and blessings for Erelisi are on test currently, too. So while you're testing, please do test those as well. So we definitely want it all tested out. It's all right there and active on test server. Yes.
Yep.
And to go up to He's coming over here and Windstalker's reply over here. So a little bit on a tangent. They're asking about Daybreak Live or some other show like that in the future. So nothing like that this year. But Smed's actually been doing a lot of interviews with people and has confirmed in multiple places that it's a show that's very important to us. It's very expensive, and it takes a lot of time for the staff to run something like that, which right now during the transition and everything else happening, we don't have necessarily the time and the staff to help make an event the size of something like SOE Live was last year happen. But it's very important to the team to do that again in the future, and important to our players too. So it's something that we are already talking about. We don't have a date for what our next event's going to be, but it's something that we want to be doing with our players in the future.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Some more deity questions. We are talking about opening up deities to be more worshipable. There will be some deities that obviously are good deities and will only be able to be worshipped. I believe the plan is that if you're a evil or neutral, you can use evil or neutral miracles and blessings. If you are good or neutral, you will be able to use good or neutral miracles and blessings.
Making it much more polytheistic in that regard.
Right. No, you cannot become a deity.
Was that T-Toby?
Ow.
Now we're hurting each other.
Yeah, I'm sure we actually have. So last year with Altar of Malice, we were saying how we have so many new character models. It was amazing, but we actually have more coming up for Campansion 12 than we had in Altar of Malice. So I'm sure we'll have some new kill counts and all that fun stuff for hunting out specific races and beings. Yes.
Late for your thing. So this is not a PvP chat stream. Not trying to ignore you. It's just we're mostly focusing on what's coming up in the immediate future for EQ2. Some of these things that are coming, this month. Fabled Dungeons in just a few weeks. So nothing to share in regards to PvP for the stream, but not trying to ignore anything that people are asking about.
I also had one other thing that some really eagle-eyed players noticed was that on your in-game calendar, yes, there's an in-game calendar.
Well, can we do it on here? Bring it back on the screen?
Oh, okay.
All right, let's. Because we're on.
Yeah. And so go over to the next month, go to July, and slide on down to. Caith knows what I'm referring to.
It's not that one. What? There we go.
Yeah. Oh, you'll have to pop over again for
sorry,
another. There it is. So you'll notice that there are some prelude events that have shown up on your calendar there. And not only is there a little title for it, but there's also a little cryptic message that gives you a hint as to what's going on. And
so this is on live right now. People can
correct.
see it.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, something to talk about, something to discuss and see what's going on. You can throw out your theories as to where you think the Campansion might land us.
And you'll answer those questions today, live on the stream for everyone to hear.
No, I won't do that. I can't do that. I just meant in the thread. Talk amongst yourselves.
So I back to the PvP thing. We're not thinking about PvP. I want to make that clear. We actually are thinking about PvP. So, and we're discussing a lot of different things. We don't have the magic bullet to fix PvP, but we are definitely planning some changes, and you guys are definitely on our minds and close to a daily discussion. So there is, as being as vague as I possibly can without getting in trouble, there is stuff coming, planned / yeah.
Hope to.
More than one.
Yes.
Okay, for Oakmister's question, they're curious about how difficult Fabled Dungeons will be tuned. How strong should you be geared before you come into this content?
Fabled Dungeons should be, if you have, like you're in the heroic and you have AOM basic heroic gear, you should be fine. They're relatively casual. They're meant to be fun and rewarding. So rewards typical to the risk there, or and also the 3 heroic dungeons, a Catechism, Court of Innovation, and Crypt of Valdoon, we also made into advanced solos. So there's going to be advanced solo versions of those 3 heroic dungeons for your Fabled fun. So
Nice.
Forgot about that too. Woohoo! So much stuff that I can't remember.
And you mentioned risk to reward there. The rewards probably actually, because it's our prelude stuff, it's probably a little bit better than you'd expect for risk for reward.
So by prelude, something that helps people get ready for the campaign as we start going into the fall,
or something that just alludes to what we're going to be doing with the loot in the fall. Yeah.
Okay.
And somebody said something earlier. I do plan to do a write up, like I did last time for Rum Cellar, where I talk about stuff specifically.
That was really useful.
Yeah, so I will be doing another one of those with more info.
Daily, weekly mission rotations. Any chance that things Rum Cellar or Fabled getting involved in that daily, weekly mission rotation?
Absolutely.
Yeah, actually.
We like the mission rotation. We like the missions.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of fun things to do.
We did add some missions for the Fabled zones already, but I think we can probably work in a weekly rotation.
Yeah,
I don't think that's impossible.
With how with the rum cellar, we introduced in a new continuing bridging mission type that we're also, I believe, going to be continuing on and introducing another one for the Fable.
Yeah, Campaign 12 is gonna be pretty robust. So we're not going to give any specifics on the size of it, obviously, but
we're trying to make it as big as possible.
we're trying to make it as big as possible. So, yeah, the chances are we would say something and it'll be, more than what we said. So we want to make something fun. We're going to a really cool place, and yeah, stay tuned.
So Desiree, who was asking, will we see full expansions in the future? You might have noticed these guys are calling the next campaign a campansion. They're building it like they would build an expansion, but the goal of campaigns is to release content to you guys more frequently. Instead of having you guys wait a year before a big update and then having people play that update for some number of months and then wait for the next one, our goal is to get content out to you guys more often, which is the whole goal of moving to the campaign system. Yeah. And what's coming out in the fall is very different than what Rumseller was.
Oh, so, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes, very different than what
Bigger.
Yes.
Features. Yeah.
Yes, there will be features. There will be an overland zone.
There will
probably shouldn't say that, but
be continuing tweaks to classes and class balance, as the Beast Lords have mentioned. They're we're not done with all that stuff. It's still ongoing. We still have more stuff coming.
So when this will release, we're looking at fall right now. We haven't released a date. The price will be less than what the last full expansion was, but you guys are getting content more often. So again, the idea is to have the price be appropriate for what you guys are getting.
Yes. To answer Holly's question, we do have new agnostics coming tentatively, and the plan is to actually have some of the zones in the Campaign 12 actually be level agnostic. So there will be a finite amount of dungeons in the new Campaign that will be level agnostic. Did I say that clear enough?
Oh, you can say it again. We can say it even more better. Holly's because the chat's delayed behind what they see is different than what we're saying.
Right.
So
I'm in another time.
With Campaign 12, the plan is to have some of the new dungeons that come out with the Campaign be level agnostic also. So there will be level agnostic versions of new dungeons, and we have new level agnostic dungeons that are already in the can and coming soon.
So do we know the level that the new ones will scale up to?
They'll be the same as current agnostic dungeons.
Yeah, we still have to make systematic changes behind the scenes to make anything else possible, and that's a large change.
So I think they go up to 94 right now?
95? Yeah, so 94, you're right.
Okay. Holly's giving you permission to dance anytime you'd like.
Yeah. No. I was going to say lap dance there at a moment when I meant chair dance. That would have been embarrassing. Yeah.
They're asking about cross-server dungeons. That's still something the team is working on. We don't have a release date for that. Anything about cross-server dungeons you guys can share or want to chat about?
They're still in the plan.
Code is deep in the mire.
We're discussing a lot of different things, and there's going to be a lot of stuff coming this year. So hold on to your hats.
Hats.
So that's supposed to be a delay or an echo. Hold on to your butts.
That's what I was not doing.
No.
So besides actually showing Fabled, I think we've hit everything that you guys wanted to hit over here. Or is there anything else?
No, I think we're good on the in-game stuff.
Okay, so in-game stuff. So unless they find something else, I'm just going to leave the two cameras. We can chat with chat if there's more questions outstanding here. Otherwise, I don't know how interesting we are just sitting here once we're kind of done with it.
Yeah, I mean, we like answering questions. Increased number of guild amenities and guild halls, please. So we're talking about raising the guild level and doing some other cool stuff. I don't know that there'll be more amenities, but we do have some other really cool stuff planned. it's hard. We have to kind of keep that at a balance because there are some things that, we would like you to be out in the rest of the world with the rest of the players doing, as opposed to hidden in your guild hall where no one can see you.
Where everything's convenient, and we understand that. Yeah.
Yes. So.
Someone's asking about contested world bosses. Contested world bosses. Zone clears.
Ah.
Oh, yeah, maybe with the campaign.
Like you wander around, get murdered.
Yeah, yes.
Watch your back.
So like guild perks, yes, exactly. That's what we're discussing. That's a good way to put it. Who said that? Niels CFH. Guild perks. That's a good way to say it. Yeah, we are planning some guild perks.
Bloodguts, we have no intention right now of adding ethereals into raid drops.
Raids, no.
So targets group content for things like that.
It is targeted for group
targeted
content.
for group
but
content.
It's tradable, so
They are tradable.
You can buy one if someone wants to sell you one.
Yeah, and to reinforce, because Windstalker's over here answering a question about if EQ2 is getting phased out. Not getting phased out. We have a full team here that's been working on this. These guys spend all of their time plus more working on EverQuest 2, so it would be kind of a beat for them if they were... Yeah, we have a team whose focus is EverQuest 2. We want to do stuff...
I don't know where people are getting the idea that we're being phased out. There's no plan to sunset the game anytime soon. I'm here. Stuff will keep coming as long as I'm alive, so I guess,
No, we have a team that cares about the game, that knows the systems, that knows how to make EverQuest 2.
Yeah, we're all passionate. We have awesome, passionate people here that want to do awesome stuff for you guys.
EverQuest 2, because I'm involved with lots of the games here, has content launching, pretty much more often than in any of our other games, except for maybe H1Z1.
Yeah.
But even then, most of these downtimes you guys have, there's something getting added to the game every week.
Yeah, we have content coming as fast as we can give it to you, so woohoo! No plans to phase out EQ2 or EQ or any other game that I am aware of.
Change the name of Kinos. The people of Kinos have a long and colored history that they are very proud of.
We're not changing the name of Kinos. Increase counts for large prestige houses. Oh God. The coders would,
I was just gonna say that.
Drop dead and fall out of their seats.
So would your database.
Yes.
Your servers.
Yeah,
A Lego EverQuest game, that would be
give
kind of
us
cool.
a hint on the ethereals. What does that mean?
But we showed you a bunch of ethereals.
Just showed them.
It's still a lab. What kind of hint are you looking for?
You probably said something earlier.
We'll chat a bunch about the ethereals. That's one of the things we want to promote in the stream. You have to let us know what question you have about the ethereals.
Hey, look, it's an ethereal. We could show the ethereal again.
Let me pop back up here. Here's a hint.
Here's 4 hints. 4 hints on ethereals.
Yeah. So
I probably missed
so like
something,
Holly
so
just
Platinum's not
said,
working.
we are looking and discussing pop issues. We are talking about all sorts of things. Server merges have been discussed.
Transfers, merges, or other things
transfers, like all kinds of stuff. We're weighing it. We're trying to come up with the best thing possible.
The best long-term solution too.
Yeah, long-term solutions, exactly. And there might even be some other stuff coming that would be amazing and awesome, but I can't say anything.
Oh, Stella Left wants to know specifically the date that the priest version of Ethereal will be dropping.
Well, there's a priest version in every wave, so every
Yes.
archetype and every class will have one in every wave. But the release date is very, very soon. There will be put up a forum post as soon as they are available in game.
So soon, do you mean June, or you mean
soon? As I mean very, very soon.
Okay.
So the ethereals might start dropping as soon as tomorrow, but maybe Tuesday. We don't know yet. So soon, like within the next 5 days. So we hope.
There were some issues to iron out.
Do ethereals come off the final boss, come from a contested box or quest crate?
They all drop from the contested, the actual final boss in the zone.
in heroic zones.
So the chests drop in a heroic zone.
Yes.
They do not drop off of any of the armor crates or any of that from missions. It's just from you're killing a mob and you're taking his stuff.
So Rainmare wants to know, what are the differences in waves?
What do you mean by differences in waves?
So you said that every month there would be a
will
different
wave
group of
one
ethereal.
have a 6-second, but no other waves for tanks?
Okay, well, so Specifics like Wave 1, we'll go ahead and release Wave 1. How about that? But Wave 1's going to have like a ranged weapon for all scouts. It has actually
a priest weapon.
The one we've got here, actually most of this is Wave 1.
There should be something for everyone in each wave is what he's trying to say.
Yeah,
that's
but
the plan.
so yeah, and every single wave will have something in every class can use. And each wave, I believe it was going to be a month long.
Yes.
Times can vary, and we'll let people know once the dates are. We're announcing this very soon. Announce dates once those things are ready to go out.
Currently, all the ethereals are weapons. All 3 waves. We don't have any jewelry.
Yeah, it's all weapons.
Yeah,
but it's
weapons,
different
offhands,
slots.
weapons, offhands, ranged slots, wands.
In
bows,
each wave, you will have one of those 3 slots.
Yes.
For the 3 waves total, all archetypes, all classes will be able to fill all slots.
A tangent, but a question that's popped up a few times is the capacity of fuel depots and homes.
That's something where we may be able to get into the companion. It's a little bit of work to get to up that, but it's something we want to do.
And then game cards. So game cards, there are still SOE game cards in stores right now. That's something that our team is working on phasing out. It's interesting and fun that it takes actually a lot of time to get things printed and then distributed to a bunch of stores. Different stores like GameStop, Walmart, or other stores that you guys are using internationally, but mostly in North America. It takes a long time to not only print but distribute those across the U.S. So yes, there will be Daybreak cards coming. For the time being, if you still find an SOE card in a store, those are still able to be activated. And if you had something activated before for game time or for Station Cash or Daybreak Cash, you can still redeem those for Daybreak Cash as long as those were actually activated at a store. If you just took them off the hook and walked away with those will not be activated for Daybreak Cash. You'll have to purchase a card at the store in the future.
Real quick, Delmon, confirm which shards you're talking about in the chat, please. And Bloodguts, the ethereal drop rate will be roughly equivalent to what you saw previously, depending on which ones specifically you're asking about.
It should be roughly equivalent to last year's.
Yeah.
Do the codes from SOE Live 2014 still work? They really ought to. I have never heard anyone say that they didn't. So yes, if you had something from SOE Live, any of those code cards, or I even think codes from old expansions when we printed those, the codes can still be redeemed for any of those items that were promised with that expansion.
Someone's asking about the retaliation effect specifically in chat. I can go ahead and explain that since this is all prose. Actually, I can.
Blue and green shards. He wants to know if they could be worth status.
And real quick before I lose it, Jahi, go ahead and PM me the address of the store that can't activate them. All stores should still be able to activate game cards. If you're at a store and they have the game card and they can't activate it, just PM Roshen, or I guess any of these guys, and they'll just let me know the question. But everything should still be working, and we are working on getting the Daybreak cards not only printed but distributed out to stores. I mean, everywhere where you were able to buy SOE Game Time or cards before should have Daybreak cards, if not already, soon.
Yeah. Kilvani, Holly Windstalker already said something about that. I guess it's soon, like anytime now. We should be letting you know what's going on. I don't know the specifics, but soon. We did. What will there be an increase on the rate of the belt, Rumseller belt? The raid one, we're increasing to 100% drop rate. If that's exciting.
That seems like a lot. 100%.
Yeah.
That seems like a lot.
That's in today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that should be in today. I'm trying to answer as many questions as possible because we always have complaints that we don't answer enough questions. So.
I feel like this stream in particular, we've been pretty good about being in chat and answering questions. If there's something we're missing.
Rumseller belt drop rate. From where? Can you be more specific? I know it's hard.
He might have
heroic. Thank you.
Well, the heroic's a little different because you can run that every 30 minutes. So
90 minutes?
90 minutes. Thank you.
Okay.
And so it needs to be balanced based off of that. The rate you can run.
Yes, the heroic drop rate is balanced off of the fact that you can run the heroics every 90 minutes. So.
Real quick, switch over to the game real quick.
All right.
So just to explain how some of the ethereals will work, I've actually equipped a couple of them, and I've actually equipped both the brawler offhand and the fighter one. So you'll see a couple of effects actually pop onto me What these items do is they actually cast an effect on you, and then you're casting the ethereal effect. It lets it scale better off of the actual character level and what you have for stats rather than based off the weapon. When that happens, you'll be able to actually mouse over and see exactly what the effects are on those, rather than the kind of simplistic pros that are actually on the weapon effect. That's just really to give you an idea of what it does, and then you will have the full details in the actual effect that's listed on your buff bar.
And this round of ethereals, there are no artifacts, but we might be doing that in the future. Yeah, we also have coming with the Campanchen a new item type, hopefully. So, you're familiar with Fabled and Mythical. We're working on something extra special, so it may or may not be in the Campanchen, but it's coming.
Okay, and for people who might be catching this on replay, Windstalker's answering. So we did the Prestige Home poll, a few months ago now.
Oh, yeah.
Winner was High Keep. We don't have a date when that will be available to players. Just because the High Keep was the winner doesn't mean the other ones are unavailable. We'll be talking about those in the future. And we had the Prestige Home go in the marketplace today, actually. The Rum Runner Coast.
Yep.
Cove.
Cove, yeah.
Cove.
Rum Runner Cove. The coast. We want to give you the entire coast now.
Yeah, there's that
big.
and a furniture set out of the rum cellar, as well as a mount.
Yeah, the mount, not the home, but yes, the mount something, the reskinned version of the Zeppelin that people may have seen before, but then
a different version will be available.
Yeah.
And those should be today if you pop in the store. Does your store show the same store?
There's no marketplace on daily right
Cool.
now. So. Despite all the spam telling us it's not available.
It's not available.
Oh, it's not available. Felden, email me that question you had so I can get more details
Okay, so
on it.
close those ethereals. They don't need to be. Yeah. Now we've taken all the excitement out of it.
So we have this room for
Now I'm gonna
8-ish
change
more
the wall.
minutes. So I don't know if we want to answer more questions or anything else we want to show, or
Will
but
we
it'll be 8 minutes till we
see-
get kicked out here.
Will we see Ulkaruk as a deity since she was tied so heavily to Irmai's revival?
She is still a demigoddess, whereas Erelisi Mar perished as a goddess and was brought back when she was resurrected. She was brought back as a full goddess as well. So Ulkaruk is not quite on the same par, not on the same level. Yes, their stories are so intertwined, and there's no saying that in the future she couldn't be added as one of the worshipable deities, but not at this time.
Yeah.
Any Tinkerfest news? There will be a Tinkerfest. When we showed the calendar, it was on there.
Absolutely. And there's new quest and there's new house items. That is scheduled for test to get in there and make sure that everything's hunky-dory. Later in July. No, let's see. I want to say in about 2 weeks' time. But at any rate, it's after the Erelisi Mar deity questline stuff is tested.
Tinkerfest
And I
starts
feel like it's
July
on the endgame
17th.
calendar. People are
You're
endgame.
correct, right,
Yeah.
Kaitheel?
Yes.
So yeah, there will be a Tinkerfest. Oh, and Holly has the date. Lucky. Okay, Tinkerfest, July 17th. It's
Well,
on the
that's when
endgame-
it's live. Yeah. Well, I was trying to remember when it was that it goes to test, and I couldn't recall.
We got a date here for Tinkerfest, both a start date, July 17th, and an end date, August 3rd. It'll be on test
Yeah.
before that.
Absolutely.
So you can see with the new content, you can give Nathan some
As
feedback so he can
always.
make it super awesome.
The live events have been helped out so much by players going in on our test server and giving feedback and finding those bugs and reporting issues, difficulties that they have. And it always launches so much more smoothly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So one thing, so I don't know how easy it is for you to do. They're curious if we can tour the Rum Runner Cove Prestige Home in the last 6 minutes we have here.
Well, let's see if I can
Yes.
find the spawn there.
He's going to
So-
figure that out. I'm going to go back to the cam while he uses
Scout
dev magic.
changes are going to be ongoing. There will be more scout changes with the Campanchen. There will possibly be more scout changes before then.
Anything about, because some people asked earlier about changing damage from auto attacks or certain abilities.
We have a lot of plans for changes. So with the Campanchen for scouts, so not drastic stuff that's gonna, it's not like when you logged into a certain game and your paladin was now a Shadow Knight, but and you had to totally relearn how to play it. Same classes, but we have plans for changes for those guys. Yeah.
Calvana, anyone that's saying guide program is doing anything else, we're still putting support behind the guide program. Kyle's actually spending a lot of his time working with guide program to make sure they have the tools that they need in both EQ and EQ2.
Who asked about the guide program?
So someone said that people on the server keep telling me the guide program will be cut.
No, I'm supporting the guide program. Me, myself, and I. So, yeah, we're getting new apprentices. We've got people coming. We've had a lot of guides come back over the last 2 months.
I mean, there have been some transitions. Like, for example, the guides have a little bit more permission over their own forums so they can advertise events there.
It was bumpy, but yeah. And we don't have any plan to stop supporting the guide program or to cut the guide program.
There's no way we would want to.
Yeah. We love guides.
But yeah, and Kyle's doing that for both EverQuest and EverQuest 2, so if sometimes these may be busy.
Yeah.
We're a little involved.
Yeah. Yes.
So we've got the Rum Runners Cove over here. So when we flip back to game.
Just real quick before I flip over there, how do you get guides? If you go on the EQ2 forums, there is a section for guide events. If you click on that, it'll actually take you to the guide forums, and there is an application form there. So if you're interested in guiding, you have to apply, and they kind of make sure that you can actually write and tell stories, because that's kind of part of what guides are about. So there'll be a little role play challenge before you get involved with that. And the easiest way to get there is if you're on the EQ2 forums, you just pop down to the section where it says guide events, and it'll take you over to their forums that they manage.
I thought that section was removed.
So the forum that we have is a separate forum that they maintain.
Yes, they have their own forum. Yes.
All right. So Rum Runner Cove.
So you're going to be entering right around here. We have a little bit of a dock and some little buildings off in the distance, and a little bit of the house behind us. Little tiny little offshoot. So yeah, this is Rum Runners Cove. It's actually kind of huge, and I think this was actually built with our new terrain editor. So it's our first house with that, I believe. But don't quote me on that, because I may be lying to you.
I love how there are so many flat areas that you can really build well here, and yet it doesn't look like it's flat when you're just standing around. Like, you don't realize that. It makes it so much more... You can do so much more with it.
And I like splashing in puddles, so we had to run through the puddle a couple times. So yeah, this is our Rum Runners Cove. You have no really near neighbors. Lots of room to expand.
I like the waterfall. Like, a lot of the screenshots I saw, like, leading up to this, is like the house where you come in, but the waterfall right here as you like pop into the distance where you zone in. Technically in the distance, not when you're right next to it.
Right off the corner there, because I think you zone in like right there, and you actually look at it. It's just, just that perfect little in the corner of your eye thing. But there's Rum Runners Cove.
Yay! They're all saying slow down.
You're doing it too fast, Robert.
I know, but I don't want to run out of time and not show you everything. I can show you my haircut again.
What about the buildings?
The buildings. This will slow down for it, because
slowly.
Not that slow.
Woo, 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 woo.
So.
And it took some inspiration from inside of the rum cellar. But it isn't those exact buildings. You can tell these are original.
That first one's my place. Move in there.
Yeah, just so no one misses Garfon's. And I apologize, I butchers everybody's name, so I apologize. Just saying thank you. That they understand that you guys are spending a lot of time and love on EverQuest, and they just want to thank you guys for that.
Aww. You're welcome.
Like, I know that when people are on the forums and they're talking and sometimes very loud and seeming very angry, like, we understand that you guys are passionate about the game, and we are too. So we understand that sometimes it seems like there's a lot of loud voices complaining, but I mean, the people who are talking about the game are people who care about the game, and we understand that. And I mean, at least the guys in the room here, like, all care very much about making sure this game is good for you guys, that it continues, and that the content that they are designing is something that is engaging and is good for players that are excited about EverQuest 2.
Yeah. Everybody on our team.
Yes.
It's really amazing.
More haircut. Have to see that. Have to see the haircut.
So Holly's bouncing out of chat.
I'm late for a thing.
Well, I mean, we're also about to lose the room here in a minute too. So if there's any last things you guys want to say, we should. Otherwise, if there's any question that we missed, we should grab that before someone knocks loudly here.
Yes, Tom Toby's gonna fix the servers personally. So.
Oh, I heard
Get,
really.
Get on that, Tom. He's also,
He just did it. He did it during the course of the stream.
There you go. He just did it. So,
Tom Toby, when you go back to your desk, there'll be 2 additional beers waiting for you.
yes.
I thought I got one of those.
Not anymore.
Dang it.
Sorry, bro, you didn't fix the servers.
I knew I was doing it wrong. All right.
Cool.
Yeah. So otherwise, I'm just gonna flip over here.
All right.
Appreciate everyone for tuning in. This has been the EverQuest 2 stream, talking a lot about Ethereals and Fabled Dungeons coming soon. Fabled on June 23rd. Ethereals, some date that we will be telling people, especially since they're coming out in waves.
More soon.
More soon.
Yes.
More soon.
More soon.
Lucky. And then some additional things in the marketplace for you guys today. So appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate everybody, again, your continued support for EverQuest 2, because without you guys, we wouldn't have jobs.
I like my job.
Hey, anything from you guys?
Sounds good.
Cool. Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks everybody.